John Mahama akache Okudzeto Ablakwa say ombie investigations into the embassy activities. Eye Okudzeto Ablakwa oye minister foreign affairs issues no. On my audit team ebie investigations Ghana embassy Washington DC hamete. Fraud ekoso. Amount for data we are handing over to people. People working at the embassy, Sebio Omuji embassy, amount for passport and fee. People using the embassy to front their own personal business. There are millions of Ghanaians in Ghana. This is a big problem to them. And millions of Ghanaians in America. A big problem. The solution to this problem is for him to sack 99% of the people there. Mr. Minister, I have a lot of information I want to give you. There are people I can give you their information who were part of this scam. We cannot be paying people here in America in the name of politics in T. Na Obia Betina US Ghana Embassy, DC. Na Odiska. Na Oyeska. I would prefer that all the people who used to work at the embassy, about 80% don't come back. And a whole embassy in America, representing Ghana. Broni Bienwa, are ready to work with such a shithole. National issues. Now, issue among Funyina Eka Wasam is got to do with the Ghana embassy in Washington, D.C. And as you can see, last week we spoke extensively about Ghana embassy in Washington, D.C. Dear AC. Now, I just want to set this straight. When we come here and we discuss issues that affect Ghana, and I'm talking about this platform is for national issues. We don't do petty stories. No, we don't do petty issues. We will deal with issues that build a nation. We want to fix this nation. That is the main focus. And into you see respectable people, doctors in Penifo, everyone is glued here to watch this platform because the news, ankasa, the echichirema, the ama dollar na form, the ama nipa yefa amanfo edwuma, the ama yebeye kwan, the ama kuku board, and the yemusa amanfo di edwuma ye correcti, the ama Ghana for enya areshemu ewe Bank of Ghana mu. Those are the very important things that we discuss here. Into Ghana now, your focus should be on how we can have a conversation to change the destiny of this nation. And as we can see, say, this president, this government, slowly, they're resetting now. They are really resetting. And you can see clearly, say, Ghanaians are feeling the good works of John Mahama and the NDC. And this is how a government should be. This is how a government should serve its people. The people are supposed to vote and later be confident about the voting they did or the voting they took part in. But you say, nipe bi Ghana to say MPP for what they are seeing. They don't know what to do. All that they want to do is to distract you. Unnecessary things, banter. No, it's not going to change anything. Our focus should be on the national issue. Boga bi akofa nyoma otiemi because opeso ohu de ekọ we hu se ate nyoma so boga bi ti abrochira se bi wabo bra opeso de nyoma ba Ghana obebo edwuma ebebo ne bra we hu se and the dollar no ekọ form. Those are the people who want to be doing what, who want to be listening to this platform. And I really want Ghanaians to focus and look at the real thing. Jandam is dead. No amount of distraction can take our eye off the ball. Our eye is on the ball, and the reason why our eye is on the ball is to make sure, say, the young Ghanaian who is unemployed, the fight against corruption, the fight against illegal mining, and yet to bring Ghana back to its senses. And I'm saying, say, to bring Ghana back to where we all will be happy to live in a country where young people will get jobs. The people who have invested their money in the country, at the end of the day, between the government partnership with private sector, people's businesses will gel again. People should start smiling because a government has come that is looking at the needs of the people. So there's a difference between people doing sensationalism and trying to distract, and there's a difference between what we do. What we do is we deal with national issues. The national issues now we deal with, and I say Ghana for over 1.8 million. Those are the issues we are still dealing with. Do not take your eye off the ball, because right now, you need to also understand, be abreast of the issues or Ghana. Make sure, say, the echo should be on what you say. Make sure, say, atro, and to be, you see, atro say crew, atro NMO be to say for the Benya president today. Atro NMO be to say about Benya vice president. Atro the MPP about power. No cre and the MPP opposition. When we stick to the truth, the NDC will help Ghana, the NDC will stay in power for long. So this is very important. Now, say your stories be about Ghana for in Yuma Wabruchri, any idea, and your personal. And the entire will be all that we want to do is we want to better the system. We want you living in America, living in the UK, living in Germany, living in any part of Europe or Asia. Say, oh, Ghana embassy around you are. You feel happy and proud to be a Ghanaian. Because Bruche and our Quentium, na bibi toa, your first point of contact is your embassy. Now say uni areshimo embassy na say GDA wo embassy e former. Aya na Abruche na wotene krampo no won hyeda enye den en hyeda enhu hu ano. And we are Ghana in America. Now onye American citizen at the same. Now onye American citizen also I Ghana in the same. What happens in say asam towa now we need to aka wunsem. Inti as a Ghanaian no, these kind of things are very important. You need to be following the news, following these kind of things because no wow we are Ghana near America onye American citizen no, the embassy is your only last stop to protect you in this country. And do not underestimate it when embassies issue ba na amount for church and semuna no krebeda. Don't underestimate, don't go and listen to nonsense. Listen to what will save you. Yeah, my mom 65, 70 they want to know what is happening. Person who they call Ghana. Person who says some person who retire na. Person who you see hospital. That is our job here. Our job here is to educate, inform the Ghanaian who is in Ghana, also outside Ghana. And what we do is we bridge the gap between Efie4 and Abruche4. Into Adia Abruche4 no any move, ne ya de ya inform you mo, ne bi omani. Na Adia Efie4 no any no Abruche no, then we educate them on it. Into obi ha otifie or Ghana, ne niate onim de akoso Abruche chen obi a oti Abruche. That is the job we are doing. We are bridging this. There's a gap, a vacuum be dawa, a ignorance vacuum. And it is not our fault. A nipa bi ne create so what Abruche men Ghana ho. So what Ghana men Abruche the nipa or Abruche who know. We are bridging that gap. We are making Ghanaians more aware. We are making Ghanaians more patriotic. We are making Ghanaians more of Ghanaian to understand and say omukro munyamano is very important to them. And now what happened is today we woke up to a very wonderful news. And as usual, the wonderful news everybody na NDC time. Because you say MPP, the wonderful news in your NDC, the MPP, sorry, no. Thank you, sir. I'll get in touch with you. Yes, thank you. MPP for the best dynamic mail. On Jaren and the Tunsons, I know about Tonyum Noko. MPP, I debate Kufa no Numi. MPP, I debate about me Chantro. NDC, Aban Papa, Adiabachibiano, good news. Now, this is one interesting news that people are giving. Oh, Kevin Taylor, you said it. Don't give the credit to me. Let's give credit to each other for staying on this platform, listening to the truth, and sharing the truth. So I will never sit here and take a credit for this story or take credit or let my team take the credit and say, oh, Kevin Taylor, you spoke on this matter. And the Ghana from Wabruche, New York, a UK for because no, I'm not going to take credit for this. My team, they are not going to take credit for this. We are all going to take credit because at the end of the day, enemy, we being focused, listening to the fact, sharing the fact for the minister to hear, no, and then the changes number. Jandam is dead. And the reason why the MPP, they are struggling is because their lies is not building anything for them. It's not yielding. It cannot cut through the truth. The NPP are struggling. Now, this is the news that we're talking about. Mr. P, Mr. S, stay with me, team. A major scandal has rocked Ghana's embassy in Washington, D.C., following revelations of an elaborate visa and passport fraud scheme allegedly orchestrated by embassy staff. The expose, spearheaded by a special audit team commissioned by Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, with the backing of President John Dramani Mahama, has prompted swift and sweeping disciplinary actions. Now, you're sorry, say Ghana embassy asama ye kan for almost 3 years. I remember before election 2024, before election 2020, I sat on this platform. I tried to make this message go down to NPP. Mekachom say the illegality happening or illegalities happening at the Ghana embassy in Washington D.C. and the consulate in New York, it was crazy. It was on this same platform, and I'm afraid Lady Bia me interview Nekacha and say amount for passport there are some people doing business amount for data and the woman spoke on my show. She tried to do what? Tell us to say yemum and ye jandam. Yemum and ye boko propaganda. Yan yempe MPP abain. And the abain papa baye. John Mahama akache Okudzeto Ablakwa say investigations into the embassy activities. Now the abeto nyina say Okudzeto Ablakwa oye dein oye ambassador no oye minister foreign affairs issues no. On my audit team be investigations Ghana embassy Washington DC hamete. Now the result is clear. Yabehu dreamer ekoso. Fraud ekoso. Amount for data we are handing over to people. People working at the embassy, Sebio Omuji embassy, amount for passport and fee. People using the embassy to front their own personal business. I am a witness to that. So I sat here and I said I was never going to stop talking about this matter because there are millions of Ghanaians in Ghana. This is a big problem to them. And millions of Ghanaians in America, a big problem. Can you imagine, say, Obuha to West Coast? We are in the East Coast. Flying from DC to California takes you between 5 and 5 hours. And it's Ghana to London. Now, when you make that trip, Ghana embassy go DC to make a child say, I was so free California. Now offer plane. Now oba ebe check it on your passport. Now oba say results in way nya. You have to do what? You have to go back to California. Do you know what the distance you're talking about? But all these things were happening. So they were frustrating people, they were taking money, and my concern was that there were some people at the embassy. Some had worked there over 17 years, 22 years. What are you doing there? The moment you allow people to work in a particular environment for over 2, 3, 4, 5 years, those people become corruption. They turn into corruption because then they become too comfortable. Then they start to liaise with people outside because now they know the loopholes. And none is Ghana embassy. Some people made billions out of our ignorance, out of our deliberate action, out of politics at MPPA. They decided to allow some people to run the embassy as their own business. And the minister released a statement to say, after the audit, Omabehu said, dreamer ekoso ne bin sida. Intimino say, the minister, the instructions the president has given him, and say, the embassy in Washington, D.C., it should be shut down temporarily. Now, almost looking for the solution to the problem. I told the minister the last time, the solution to this problem is for him to sack 99% of the people there. Or else, the ambassador for Obebano, who I don't know, that ambassador will never succeed. Say, one pamo workers no more. And God being so good, they have listened. So far, from what we know, the embassy has been shut down. The minister is saying, say, Obia Sari apply. They need to check the background of every single person. In fact, Papa no odi anima sa krono no ekoso. Today, the minister is saying, they want to transfer his docket to the Attorney General in Ghana for him to face prosecution. Let me tell you, there are so many people. And I am also going to tell the Foreign Affairs Minister, if there's any way that people here who are American citizens, Ghana who were involved in this scam or this scandal or this fraud, they should be prosecuted here and they should serve jail time. Mr. Minister, I have a lot of information I want to give you. There are people I can give you their information who were part of this scam. They have been part of this fraud for months and years. So, Mr. Minister, it should not just be that man here who is being taken home to be prosecuted. I am talking about people who also worked at the embassy. Ebimukrampo Equity Ejumano, and we know their record. They need to stand trial here. They need to be jailed. We are going to give you all the information because, you see, we cannot be paying people here in America in the name of politics in T. Na Obia Betina US Ghana Embassy, DC. Na Odiska, na Oyeska. Mamika Bincho, the last ambassador, Halima Mahama, and Asane Freno. Halima, I can tell you on authority, that woman cannot even write myself. Do you know that? Nana de Danko Kufuado, ambassador no hoa, and son of Mufri Power no. My friend saying, Halima Mahama, and I have friend saying, some woman like that. That woman was not even coming to the office. Sometimes she goes to stay in Ghana for like 5 months. Before election 2024, the woman left her post, her position. 8 months before election 2024, she left and went to Ghana and left the embassy there just like that. So this is the level of corruption. So we should not play with this. I'd like to tell the ambassador, say, it should not stop here. If anybody wants to work at the embassy, people should put in the application. Background checks should be done. I would prefer that all the people who used to work at the embassy, about 80% don't come back. About 80%. A whole embassy. When you go on Google to check, they have 2.6 when it comes to reviews. And some the embassy of Ghana in Washington, D.C., Oko reviews are 2.6. Technically, it's a shithole. Bronibia obe business as a nation. Our America habiano, he or she will have to go through your embassy. Now, if your embassy has reviews of 2.6, ratings of 2.6, no business person who is intelligent. Because one, Obebusa will say, the embassy in Ghana, in America, representing the president, they are the first point of contact. You perceive from minister, you perceive from president now. And if this is the kind of ratings, 2.6, and a whole embassy in America representing Ghana, then it means that Bronibian are ready to work with such a shithole. I'm using that word because no reasonable person, no reasonable businessman will walk to this embassy and say, I want to do business with Ghanaians. Because this is basically your face as a nation. This is what is Ghana. If any businessman wants to work with Ghana, this is what they see. So when they see this, it shows from even your embassy from here before they enter Ghana, you people are not serious people. So, Mr. Minister, it is very vital and important that this action you've taken, you spread it around the world. I know there's a lot of fraud happening at the UK embassy, Ghana embassy in the UK. Crazy. Germany is crazy. In fact, Ebia Ochina, we will open phone lines for Ghanaians around the world to call from different parts of the world to tell us their experiences at various embassies around the world. Ghana embassies. You'll be shocked, Mr. Minister. So, what I want to say is, Mr. Minister, it should not end here in only Washington, D.C. This should go to Europe. This should go to other places. Oko Germany, West, Oko Italy. I've been here. People have called me from Qatar. I know, they say the embassy in Dubai, they are doing a great job. That's what I have heard. I have not checked it. But over Europe, you see Spain, you see UK, the West, I say so. Every single thing has been outsourced. Say toilet paper crowd UK embassy, Ghana embassy or UK, a company be there. Mr. Minister, with all due respect, enter the embassies around the world. Tomorrow we open the phone lines for Ghanaians to call. I'm for say Denmark. People are saying New York consulate. Here, this man, he was at the New York consulate. And Matisse so Ghana. So I grant the interview. Hear what he is saying. This man, from what I heard, he also used to work with the Ghana embassy, but I think he is at the New York consulate. Tiasembia Oka. Or say, to the best of my knowledge, to the best of his knowledge, in fact, his position, he is the former consular general, New York. It's Ghana embassy in New York, no. When a former consular general. Now, and the Wakasa. So him say ambassador Nankasa or Ghana ambassador or US no, a Washington DC no te. And a Ghana your branch omuye juma omne your embassy Washington ye juma a New York ne wo into from consulate. It's basically no Ghana embassy wo Washington no omu substation and I say almost smaller version no and then the New York. Into omo New York no omuye juma she omu juma omu ye na she e Washington DC Ghana embassy na say. Now this man, he's worked there. Hear what he's saying. Or say, to the best of my knowledge, I know that in Washington, what they were doing was people used to mail their parcels to the embassy, but they were charging some extra fee for people to pay before they mail the parcel back to them. Now, according to say, And at a point when I saw it, I was trying to ask that who gave approval? Now, because if you want to give some charges to anybody, it should come from the ministry. Or see, no, US, UK, New York consulate, or say at a point, they also on the say, at a point, no, now man for Eddie, passport, maili, passport, about embassy wa. Maili, na embassy na sa charge omo. Sika, samfel maili mabrak. Right there go. Maili, passport, every Ebia, California, or wherever, no. Abedu embassy, no. Na embassy na sa charge omo say, send sika extra money for them to mail the passport back. I believe, say, who apply for passport, and I say, person will renew visa. The charge, everything should be included. It's a package. So if I'm sending my passport to the Ghana Embassy in Washington, D.C., and I go on their website, automatically, I am sending a parcel or my passport to you. So the passport coming to you and leaving your premises, I know, say, you have put everything in place. You have charged the workmanship. You have charged the passport you'll be sending to me. So whatever I see on the website should be something that I have paid for. It is a $200. I know it covers the transportation of the package or my passport back to me. But you cannot tell me, say, on your website, you are charging $200. And when I bring the package to you, the return postage, and our return package, you have a return postage, you want to charge me extra money. That is extortion. They were stealing money from Ghanaians. Because say me file and I say me bibia me ba website now see visa application, visa renewal, $300. $300 and I know say it includes return postage. It includes a jumana moye no. Intermediate me $300 na me mailing me I will take the first cost by paying for maybe I may wanna me mail the abano. But the moment it gets into your hand, I have actually paid for everything. Why do you tell me to pay extra money? That you are, if I don't pay that extra money, you will not mail my passport to me. That is extortion. And so many people, if you put a class action together, the Ghana Embassy will be paying millions. Because in law, they have extorted from so many Ghanaians. You see what happened? So this man, now, so all these things are going to be checked. And Ghana let's not see this as just Ghana Embassy, Washington, D.C. We should all come together and send the message across. Let's start taking videos. Let's start taking pictures. Let's start taking records. Let us send to the right authorities. Let them know what we are going through around the nation, around the world. Sorry. Let the people around the world, Ghana embassies, let them understand. Say they work for a government. They should not be too pompous. They should not make us feel say we are their slaves. They need to come to that conclusion or that point to say. They are servants. If you work in Ghana Embassy in Washington, D.C., you are nobody. And so we need to put that in their head because the customer service part of every embassy, it's important. So worldwide, globally, we should all be on alert. Ochina, we open the phone lines and we will make sure, say, Ghana for more we are seeing now, be afraid of sharing experience. Baby, let us know the embassy, what you have gone through so that we can compile all and let the minister know. Now, we pick it from there. Now, things are happening. Today, I was talking to my team, and it was about how we are all trying to reset this nation. Now, I won't say, pass a embassy wasem. The government, that is a listening government with intelligent people leading it, they have decided to take action. Today, we are all excited. It should not end there. Over Ghana, there's one thing happening. We also, or I would like to advise this government to also look at the media. They should look at, very importantly, the TV and radio. Very important to say, this government pays close attention. I will never stand on this my platform and tell any government to shut any media house down. No. That is wrong. That is abuse of power. But I will also not allow anybody in Ghana to also use that the exclusive right to run a media house to dupe, misinform, disinform, and also steal from the nation. My checks indicate say Ghana de biaye kono ebeko ye you bet me sail smoothly. Information and a yedichire mine. So you bet me and making sure say information yediba bontino a solid and genuine and a good information a bit to me abwa a attitude mine we are. I'm advising the communications ministry. They should look into some media houses in Ghana. If you are willing to open a media house in Ghana, you should be willing to follow the rules and regulations. Me, answer a media license to run a TV station, I had to go through the process. I had to make sure my books are clean. I have to show that my company is able to pay $5,000 a month from the company account. I have to be able to prove, I have to be able to show to the American government, say, every year when I'm filing my taxes, I show in my taxes, say, my company, Loud Silence Media, we pay this amount of money to this company that my TV runs on. So if you are a media house in Ghana, the first step you need to understand is that you need to keep your books clean. I would never advise the communications minister, the foreign affairs minister, or any agency to go after any media house in Ghana just because Abaya power. No. But if we need to sanitize the system, we need to make sure some of the media houses are not supposed to be running. The media houses too that are stealing from us, we are supposed to check them because it is looking like, say, people are taking advantage of Ghanaians too much. Our own embassy is taking advantage of us. If it wasn't the media, like our platform, making a lot of noise and bringing the facts out, and people will still be at these various embassies stealing from Ghanaians. So it's about time we extended this kind of education. And some of the media, they have failed Ghanaians. They are just in Ghana making money out of the people, misinforming the people, lying to the people. Their core responsibility, they have deviated or they have diverted from their core responsibility of informing the people, educating the people, and letting the people know the truth. And I would advise this government that they should sit up, look deep. They need to analyze the radio stations. In fact, I would speak against the government shutting down any radio station illegally. But if the government has reasons, if the government get to know that there's a radio station in Ghana, TV station, they are not paying what they have to pay. They are not going by the rules. They are not paying their taxes. The government has the right to revoke their license or shut them down. That is the only way we can sanitize the system. Do you know, say, that platform, your friend, yen.com, no? Yen.com, it belongs to foreigners. Do you know? Yen.com, it belongs to a Russian and a Ukrainian. Yen.com, yen.com. Sa platform now, sa blogging platform, no? They have their domain and you can see what they do in Ghana. Recently, they lied about Okudzeto Ablakwa. They published stories that were not true. And they infuse these things into the system and they dissolve the system. They mess the system up. And there are so many platforms in Ghana. They don't even belong to Ghanaians. There are people with interest with their politicians, affiliation. Ghana Web like this, you can see the damage they are doing. Modern Ghana. These are platforms that Ghana, the government of the day, they need to look at. Because you see, so a government, when you fail to check the media, to make sure they are in good standings, they are not corrupt. Because you see, a corrupt media can never do its job. During MPP era, no, time and MPP was no. There were so many media houses, they were locked in to do the MPP bidding because they were not following the right channel. There are so many media houses in Ghana, nanko so mutia omo bills, nanko so mutia omo taxes. They were behind. The MPP government could have shut them down. But the MPP government decided to use that as a weapon against them to make them work and do propaganda for them. Now, because we don't want to turn the media into government propaganda tools, we don't want that perception that a media house has to work in favor of a particular government because that media house has not met its obligations or what it has to pay back to the government or to the people, it has not done it. We need to make sure that we sanitize the system. So if there are media houses in Ghana, because the moment we refuse to do that, now some media houses will hide behind that and destroy the system. There are so many media houses in Ghana, they have not even paid taxes for years, 9-10 years. There are so many media houses in Ghana, during the MPP era, they decided to work against the Ghanaian person or the Ghanaians because at the end of the day, taxes no, so they had no option than to do the bidding of the government. So I'm pleading with this government. In fact, I'm pleading with the communications minister. They need to start doing thorough job on the media houses in Ghana. They should start from their books. We don't want a media that is corrupt. When the media is corrupt, the system is messed up. So I will plead with the communications minister. He should sit down. He should look on media. No, he should start looking into their books. He should not go after any media house illegally. What will you get when you go after a media house because, oh, this media house or your MPP affiliated into Ogunu? No. If you are going to go into any media house, go in legitimately and ask them to open their books. They need to just open their books. You need to know whether these media houses are paying their taxes. These media houses are following the rules, because you were here and Ursula Wusu said she followed the rules. So there's nothing wrong with this government making sure they follow the rules. And I'll be one person, and I'm not going to kid with this. If this government decides to close down some media stations over some flimsy excuse, I will not agree. There should be a reason. There should be a reason. There should be a law. There should be a legitimate reason why anything like that can help. But we are sanitizing the system. We are cleaning the system. Now that we are cleaning our embassies around the world, we need to also sit back and start to clean the system. A good media will always protect the nation, not protect a political party or protect a government. It will protect a nation, meaning the interest of the people will be the interest of that media house. And in the past, majority of us, we had so much hope in GBC because we all believed to say GBC belonged to all of us. So our share was in GBC. So every time we try to protect GBC. That is how it's supposed to be. Now we have different kinds of media. So the government needs to make sure it protects the media, but it should also not allow some of the media to take advantage of the system. Because obi ton idea or swame. Na so we trying to tax GRA for to raho no more to store him. Send obi wo bantama na so we trying to tax the Ghana Revenue Authority for to me room no makatum. You restaurants bebra abind to me room no makatum adentra omuntia taxes. We need to set the same standards for the media. If you are willing to do media in Ghana, you should be willing to make sure you follow the rules, because the government needs to benefit from you by paying your taxes, by making sure your books are clean. And that is the beginning of a very legitimate media system or environment. And see, this is just an advice to the Ministry of Communication. These are things, if you are resetting Ghana, these are things you need to focus on. Myself and my team, we have been doing this job for a very long time. And you see, we need to understand. We need to protect the system. That is what we need to do. So let's not play with these things. Every ministry that we do our research and see that it needs to be cleaned up, we will support the ministry. We will help build Ghana. Why? At the end of the day, Ghana, we need to help build this nation.